I'm Soumya Madabhushi. I'm a counseling psychologist. Welcome to Mankhat. So today I just want to tell you a little bit about myself, tell you how I got to be here. So I have a PhD in counseling psychology. I got that from University of Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. But I here. I studied psychology, English literature, and political science here at St. Francis Degree College for Women in Hyderabad. After that, I studied for a year in the master's program at Uspania University. And then I went to the US because I wanted to study psychology further and was seeking out opportunities there. And I did a 2.5-year master's program in clinical psychology in Pittsburgh, Kansas, then went on and got the PhD, which was a long 5-year journey. I did an internship at University of Pennsylvania, which is an Ivy League university in Philadelphia. I got a postdoctoral fellowship after that from Delaware. I continued, actually went right back to Philly and continued working at Penn as a staff member at their counseling center. I seemed to be a glutton for punishment because somehow this much school was not enough. So I decided to go and do a 2-year program in psychodynamic psychotherapy, which was through a psychoanalytic center in Philadelphia. And then did another 6-month course in Foundations to Relational Psychoanalysis. So if that tells you something about me, I love to learn. I like to consume books. There's just so much wealth of information out there that it's always fun to keep learning and keep learning about, if it's calculus, count me out, but keep learning about human beings and what motivates us, what gets us going, what makes people tick. That's always been just incredibly fascinating to me. Psychology is a little out of the way for folks here in India. Not a lot of people do this. It's Zara Hatke, right? The earliest memory I have of what I wanted to do when I became older was to be a doctor. Part of that was probably just the prestige of it, right? Everybody there's a lot of respect around the profession. But I think even at that age, there was a conception I had of the pain that's part of human life. And I wanted to be able to provide some healing. You know, went through my growing years and thought I'd do this and that. And every time I read a new book, I was like, oh, today I'm going to be a hotel manager. And tomorrow I'm going to be an FBI agent. Like every new book I read, I just wanted to be the people in those. And then there was a phase I went through when I kind of developed a little bit of a fear for medical ailments, really. Like I was really fearful that I might lose my leg in an accident. I read this inspirational story, watched a movie as well about it, about a woman who lost her leg and then actually went on to get a prosthetic leg and became this incredible dancer. It was meant to be inspirational and it is inspiring, but in my young mind that just caused so much anxiety. I was terrified of things happening to me, things happening to people in my life. I would kind of start having some panic every time it got dark, and my parents had to figure out how to get me to feel calmer every evening. So all of this was going on. I was like, all right, no way I'm becoming a doctor. This is not a thing. But then again, years went on, and I also actually started to notice that people in my life were dealing with mental health issues. There was mental suffering. I mean, like I just mentioned, I had my own bout of anxiety, but I also saw people in my life who struggled with other things and saw the impact of loss on families and saw the impact of childhood abuse or sexual abuse and the trauma that can come from it. And so started to realize that there was different kinds of pain that human beings live with. And so there are different ways to be a source of healing in the world. So I started to become interested in psychology. And so my first chance that I got was in the bachelor's program at St. Francis, and I went and did that. And that was the best decision I made in my life. I still remember when I said I was gonna, study psychology during my bachelor's. There was an intervention that was staged, right? Uncles and aunts came over, chai was made, and Britannia biscuits were eaten, and folks were like, "What is going on? What are you doing? What is this psychology thing? Are you sure you're gonna do this? How will you, survive? How will you make a living?" This is just not the kind of field we go into. Why aren't you studying engineering, or why don't you go do an MBA? I'm fortunate that I have a loving family that cared enough, that showed up and were wanting to understand what was going on. But when they understood my motivations, they were incredibly supportive. Everybody kind of rallied around me and got behind my goals. And so I continued to study that in my bachelor's degree, and then went on and did the PhD. Fits very well with my values, with who I am as a person. The skills and talents that I have just kind of really dovetail and align with what's required to be a good psychologist. One of the things is I enjoy a good story, whether that comes in the form of a book or a movie, or somebody sitting down and telling me what their life has been like. To be able to put myself in somebody else's shoes and really kind of understand what makes them tick, what makes them who they are, is the most wonderful thing that there is. For people to be able to put that kind of faith or trust in me, to open up and invite me into their lives and share the things that they might not talk about with anybody else in their life, is an amazing gift. What I have offered to the world and what I've offered to people, I hope that's been meaningful to the folks who have interacted with me, but I sure have learned and grown so much as a person and as a psychologist through all of these interactions that I've been fortunate enough to have. I came back to India in September. My family is here. Parents, sister, brother-in-law, 2 wonderful nieces who fill my life with a lot of joy. I started my practice here, and I am hoping to continue to do this work here in my culture and get to see how this all plays out. We're going to be doing many other videos on different topics about mental wellness and mental health. If you're interested in learning more about all of these, like, share, and subscribe to Mann Khat.